Okay, so Mishnah is Kelim. Jesse, we're getting ready to make a siyum, so I think we're making a siyum on a perek.
Finished the perek yesterday.
Did we?
Yeah, Jesse's not going to tell you. He made to see him yesterday. You had to look at him yesterday.
Oh, no, this is a short perek. We're making another siyum. Get it ready, Jesse.
Oh,
Get it ready.
Fine, good.
Not complaining. There's 30 prakim and Kelim. I have it on the wall, like I make a little niche in the wall when we get closer to this, to finish.
You take off your shirt?
Should roll yourself. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I'd rather drink water. Okay. So Perek Dalid, Mishnah Dalid. Kli cheres yeshli shalosh sfayos. Again, I don't know where they came up with these kelim in the Mishnah's times, but this is a kli cheres that has three. Literally means three lips, three rims, right? Meaning it has a triple top. It looks like a flower. It has one lip and then a second lip within there and a third lip within that, right? This doesn't really seem to have any function. It's just to look nice. Something that you would find in sounds like something you'd find in Home Goods or something like that, right? So clearly you wonder what the whole Home Goods is all about. So maybe Mishnah is Kelim. I don't know. Right?
The Fortunov,
Right, Fortunov of Shalom. Obviously, people came to their seichel and Fortunov went down the thing. But okay, so kli cheres sheyesh lo shalosh sfayos. So it has three lips. Now the question is each one of these lips at the top considered its own kli? So pnimius idefes. So if the inner one is the highest, meaning it sort of looks like a flower. It's a flower. Sometimes you have different layers of petals. I remember that word. Right. So if the highest one, if the middle one is the highest, akol tahar, then everything is tar. Why? Because since the inner one is higher than the other ones, then only what's inside the inner one is considered part of the kli. Everything on the outside is not part of the kli. Right? And memela, if something becomes tamei, touches these things from the outside, as we know, a kli cheres cannot become tamei from the outside, only from the inside. So memela, that's not going to be a problem. But let's say the outer one is the highest, then I'll call tummy. Everything's tummy because everything is going to be considered inside. Let's say the middle one is the highest. So it's going to depend. Tummy from the middle one towards the inside is tummy. But from it towards the outside is tar. Why? Because the middle is the highest. So what's within the side the kli is considered obviously part of the kli, so it's tummy. But on the outside, not. How you shavas, if they're all the same. So Rav Yehuda says, we split the middle. Right? Meaning, so now they're all equal. You have three sort of lips to this kli, and they're all the same height. So Rav Yehuda says we split the middle. Just what he said before, the inner part is considered part of the kli, the outer part is not. The Chachamim say hakol tar, everything is tar, because only things inside the rim is a problem. Kli cheres me'emasai mekabel tuma. So kli cheres, when does kli cheres become tuma? So this is now that we're finishing. This is the last Mishnah talking about earthenware, and so we're saying at what point does something get the status of an earthenware kli? So kli cheres me'emasai mekabel tuma. When is it mekabel tuma? Because you have to take an earthenware kli, you have to put it into an oven. We had this a couple of times in order to into a kiln. I'm sorry, right, Rabbi? I said kiln. Yeah, you put it into a kiln in order to get it to harden. So once you put it into the kiln and it gets hard, so then that's when it has a din kli cheres. V'hi gemar melachta, and that is considered the gemar melachta. Okay. Hadron Aloch Perek Dalir of Mishnah is Kelim. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Okay, L'chaim.
Jesse, are Sherman guys allowed to swim and drink schnapps at the same time?
As long as I'm not driving in the pool, it's okay.
Okay.
All right. As
And
long
my
as you have
guns
this-
and my guns in the house.
as long as you have your little ducky tube to make sure to save you if everything's okay. Okay, new parak. Now we're going to discuss parak A discusses ovens. Right. So the way they had their ovens back then weren't really ovens. Basically, what they did is dig a hole in the ground, and then they would cover that hole with earthenware, right? And then they would put fire inside the oven, and then they would line it and do all sorts of stuff, and it would insulate it, and it would stay hot for hours on end, even if there's no flames. At least that's so. There's different sizes. There's tanner, there's kirayim, like in Shabbos. Right. So a tanner, an oven, tchilase arba. Has to be 4 tvachim high, meaning if you're making an oven, it's got to be at least 4 tvachim high, right? In order to be considered tameh, ushiyarav arba, and when meaning if let's say it got broken, so it would need to be also 4 tvachim high, in order for it to still be considered a kli, and in order for it to be tameh. Div Rameir, that's shitas Rameir. That's only talking about a oven that's very big. But if it's a small oven, which is interesting, the Rav says, what's a small oven? Kids play with it. You know, I always thought we only have like Fisher Price and all these type of things, play ovens.
It's like the easy bake oven.
I don't know what that is, but whatever. It's like they had toy ovens back then too. Why the Mishnayos is concerned for when a toy oven becomes tameh is beyond me. But our bakaton tchilase kolshu as any amount, because it's it doesn't need to be 4 tvachim high in order to become tameh. Ushiyarav rubai, and the rest of it has to be and meaning it has to be majority. And it has to be a majority of what the original oven was. So let's say it was 1 tefach high, this oven, so it needs to be half a tefach. Mishatigmar malachtoi. When does an oven become tameh or right to be makabel tumah? Once the malacha is done. Ezu gemar malachtoi. What's considered a gemar malacha of an oven? Mishayasikeno kedei lefos by sufganin. When they heat it up enough in order to bake sufganiyot, right? Which is basically, let's call it donuts. You don't need to, this is cooked at a lower temperature than standard bread. So mamela, you don't need to heat this oven up for a long time in order to make it considered the gemar malacha. You need to do it enough to make sufganiyot, which is because I'm assuming because it's very soft, so therefore it doesn't need to be on such a high temperature. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Mishayasik is a chodosh kedei lefos b'yoshan sufganin. It's considered new. How's he saying? Mishayasik is a chodosh. You have to heat up a new oven kidei lefos b'yoshan sufganin, in order to cook sufganin in an old oven. Meaning an old oven, a brand new oven, you're going to have to keep it on a higher temperature to create your first sufganin, your first donuts in there. An old oven will cook it faster, right? Because I'm assuming because maybe the heat is built in there and it's easier. So Mamela, Rabbi Yehuda holds that it's even less of a heat that would make the status a completed oven. Okay, stop over there. I don't have my most to say for me. I'm sorry.